Welcome to Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast. I'm your mayor, Chewy Plays Nintendo, joined by my co-mayor, Sergio, coming to you live in front of our Discord audience. Today, we're doing a final test before our live E3 show. We'll be talking about the recent Pokemon announcement, a bit about that E3 podcast, and answer questions submitted to our Discord. Just a warning, you may notice that I sound a bit different right now. I'm recording this after the fact because, like I said, this was a live test and mistakes happen. So I forgot to hit record at the very beginning of the podcast. You missed the intro. It wasn't too much. It was only literally like a minute or two, but we essentially get straight into the Pokemon discussion. So what you hear coming up is Sergio and I getting right into Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. I hope you enjoy. Like I said, this is just a live thing. Mistakes happen, and this is why we test things. We're going to avoid this mistake in the actual show. That is a week from today. All right, everyone. Enjoy. Bye.
Sergio.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I remember on Twitter when I was looking at it just last night. I don't know. I was sending tons and tons of messages to everybody. I was like, Pokemon just tweeted this. Pokemon just tweeted that. It's crazy in here. I was geeking out, and it was fun.
Right. And good announcements, good. More unexpected Pokemon goodness that we're getting.
Yeah, so yeah, we're getting some feedback that things are sounding good. This is good.
Yeah.
People are saying this has been hype and it's been crazy, and yeah, it's been cool. So yesterday, just to give a little recap, Pokemon essentially they tweeted that they would be holding some sort of private conference in Japan, and did you think that was weird?
Yeah, it was unexpected. There were rumors that we were gonna hear something by the end of the month, and I guess they were right, but we didn't know how it was gonna happen.
Yeah, and I think that was really kind of just surprising about the whole thing because I feel like usually the Nintendo Direct is like the way to get news about these kinds of things. And it
Right.
seemed pretty odd that they were essentially just like skipping that kind of thing. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, it was very out of character. And maybe it was just because like everybody kind of followed a bunch of leaks that seemed to predict everything
Yes, right.
about this game. Did you follow those at all?
Yes.
I thought they were hilarious because the leak essentially started. I forget on what site. It was probably 4chan. Don't go to 4chan, everybody. um, but it was probably there, and
Right.
there was some sort of leak where somebody essentially wrote out everything that was announced yesterday as far as like Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee.
Hmm.
Um, but they posted this on April Fool's Day. And that's where
Mm.
nobody took it seriously at the time. But as things started getting like discovered and unveiled, people were like, "Oh my gosh, this thing might be real."
Right.
Yeah, but still, really, don't go to 4chan. I hear that's the quote of the night. um, so yeah, as far as the announcements went, they did still hit us with like a bunch of surprises outside of like Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. And the first thing they announced was Pokemon Quest,
Hmm.
which is a new, I guess I would say it's kind of like a mobile game, more so than it is like a Switch game, you know?
Correct.
But it is coming to both Switch and mobile devices. When I first saw it, I thought it was the cutest thing because I love the little block art type of, yeah, just the block art style
Right.
to it. Have you gotten to play it at all yet?
No, unfortunately, I haven't. Yesterday was a little busy with some audio technical difficulties that I'm still having, but I want to play it for sure. It looks kind of like a mix between Pokemon Rumble and the traditional turn-based, but with its own twist. And definitely the biggest twist is the art style. So I'm looking forward to trying it, going head on, knowing that it's sort of a mobile game and it's free to play. So keeping expectations to that level.
Yeah, and you're spot on with it. Like it's definitely more like Pokemon Rumble. I've played it a bit. So it's like Pokemon Rumble in the sense of like the Pokemon you control. And I'll tell you a little bit about this because you haven't played. But in Pokemon Rumble, you control a character, and it's more of like a melee type of fighting thing. Like it's
Right.
more action based. Each of the buttons essentially like represents like some sort of move that you have, and not even all of them because some Pokemon don't learn
Yeah. Right.
like four moves or whatever. But you press a button, they do scratch, or you press one, they do tackle.
Right.
Um, so that's Pokemon Rumble, but you're also moving around your character. In Pokemon Quest, the character is moving itself to the location where
Mm.
the battle is going to be. And then from there, you can tap on the screen and pick what moves you want your Pokemon to perform.
Okay, and then it's the real time.
Yeah, it's real time. It's not like turn based or anything. So
Okay.
you essentially watch your Pokemon run across the screen, and then it says, "Oh, this wave of Pokemon is coming." So it's kind of like in waves. Treats
Yes.
it a bit like a tower defense game. Kind of
Oh,
how I was talking about last week with
right.
Pixel Junk Wars or Pixel Junk Monsters. I always do that. um, but yeah, so it controls automatically, and then all you're doing is pressing a button to do attacks. There's also one to like have your Pokemon scatter and run away, just in case there's like some big attack that's that is going to attack you
Right.
and do a lot of damage. I always forget that because I'm just like I just want to hit people. um, but yeah, it I'd say it's pretty fun, but it's definitely like it feels like a mobile game. Also, I did try it with both the controller and just in handheld doing the touch screen. It
Mhm.
for sure works a lot better with the touch screen.
Oh, okay. Otherwise, you're pointing.
You don't point. I guess I didn't try pointing at all. I just kind of used a control stick to navigate. Um,
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I guess the thing I felt was like my pointer, it disappears kind of quickly. Like if you leave it idle, it'll just
Right.
like, disappear so you don't see it. And I'd always like wiggle it around to make sure it's at the right spot so I could point, so I can
Right.
click on things. But yeah, I'd say I had an easier time playing that game on the handheld, like just touch screen.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, it makes a lot of sense just because it's a smartphone game, I
Right, and
think.
that's how we're gonna play it on smart devices.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, that's Pokemon Quest. Let's talk about the bigger thing of this, which was probably the biggest thing of it. Except for me, I kind of preferred one of the later announcements, but we'll get to that. So on this, right after they showed us an official trailer for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, and I so I was worried at first
Yeah.
because it started out with Pokemon Go. Like you see him playing on the smartphone, he's chasing down a Pikachu because, of course, who doesn't want a Pikachu? Let's go Pikachu. Um, I didn't see Eevee running around there for all you
Right.
Eevee lovers. No, I'm just kidding. Eevee is great too. um, but yeah, so let's go Pikachu. It started out with the Pokemon Go, and my thing about this is I don't play Pokemon Go. I probably would play Pokemon Go if it worked on my phone, but it doesn't work.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I wish I could play Pokemon Go, especially because I had no idea they were already adding Alolan like type Pokemon,
Oh,
Alolan
already.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I saw a picture today of somebody catching the Alolan Executor, which is for sure the best version of Executor. That long neck is
Right.
amazing. um, But yeah, so they've added a bunch of cool things, and I'm like, oh, cool. They've. I was most jealous when they added Gen 2 Pokemon because I've always really liked Gen 2. I'm not the biggest Gen 1 fan, and this is another one of my worries. The game's essentially, like they predicted, a remake of Pokemon Yellow.
Right.
And I don't know. We've already had remakes of the original Pokemon games. They've already gotten re-released on the 3DS eShop, you know. And so I'm like,
That's right.
I've seen these Pokemon a lot. And I kind of prefer the idea of getting a new set of Pokemon. Um,
Yes.
but I don't know. The trailer kept going, and then I saw the two player, and I was like, this is the coolest thing because it looks so easy for people to just jump in, do a co-op adventure, and I was thinking like there are kids, there are people, I guess I should say, people who are our age, who were kids when Pokemon came out, you know,
Hmm.
pretty
Hmm.
young, and now some of them have kids, and they're like, I can share their
Oh,
first Pokemon adventure with them,
right.
and that's cool to me. I like the idea of doing like a co-op Pokemon quest because that's what the show tells you it's all about. Like Ash doesn't go saving the world on his own. He goes with Brock and Misty.
Right.
And I don't know, it makes sense. I don't know. Yeah, so
That's
that
true. And I like your approach because, to the parents or to the people that are older like us that we play the original Yellow and the original Pokemon games, we know how they work. And now that it's different, we're going to be communicating with the kids or with our children. Oh, I knew how to do it back then. Let's see how they changed it. So you're going to be learning together.
yeah, it's really cool. And then it gives you like another way to teach people Pokemon. I mean, Pokemon's pretty easy to get into, but
Hmm.
I think more and more they're trying to make it like really accessible to people. Like all the changes they make are like, oh, you don't really have to learn the type advantages or disadvantages anymore. We'll just tell you what move is strong about against which Pokemon. And parts of that, like that one specifically, like I don't really care for because I think part of the challenge of Pokemon is learning that stuff. But at the same time, like I get it. Like it is a game that is targeted to kids, you know,
Hmm. Hmm.
and the people who play competitively or like take it pretty seriously, they know that stuff anyways.
Right.
The game's been around for 20 years, 21 years actually, because last
Right.
year was the 20th anniversary, I think.
Hmm.
I remember because I spent a bunch on the Generations Pokemon cards, and I didn't get them all. I'm trading a friend for one that I needed, but regardless, that's off topic. um, so yeah, I guess what was your initial reaction to this trailer? I guess I kind of took a long route to getting to my thoughts through, but just to end it, I was sold at the co-op. I thought that was great.
Right, right. Well, based on all the rumors, heavy rumors, this was sort of expected, and so I was expecting it. And my way of thinking was, well, they want to get a Pokemon game out for the Switch as soon as possible. It makes sense that it's a remake. It makes sense that they change it enough, probably most likely to speed up development, so we get it quickly. So everything makes sense. And without getting to the next part just yet, I mean, it made so much sense that n- I wasn't disappointed. Let's say that.
Yeah. Um, and for sure, after a bit, I looked just after the fact. I looked at it and I was like, from the Pokemon company's perspective, they essentially put out Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon last year, right? And the year before
Yes.
that was Sun and Moon. So they're still riding like the success of kind of the current generation of Pokemon that they're on.
Right.
Um, because when you think about it, like Pokemon isn't just the video games. Like Pokemon is a huge company or like a huge part of Nintendo. I think they're technically a second party, right? Um, so
Yes.
so in regards to being their own company and own entity, like they are making merchandise that goes toward these like characters that have only had like a 2 year lifespan so far.
Hmm.
They're making Pokemon card sets that go toward those characters. So they're still like midway in their run through this like generation, you know? So
Right.
it doesn't make sense to them to cut it off short. Whereas putting out something that's definitely like nostalgia based and focused on those original Pokemon that people encountered and were able to hang out with, and sharing that with like now a new generation of kids, I think that is a good filler for them as a company, while they work on a next big game, you know?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, so there's still a lot of money to be made on the current generation, and I don't think that's gonna. I don't think they were going to put out a game this early, you know.
Right.
Also, I want to mention Dragonflame mentioned Chewy. Don't forget the Pokeball. I know you're hyped for that. I've been trying to figure out how much that controller is going to cost because
Right.
I have a feeling it's going to be like $50 or something. I love Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and it came with the Pokewalker
Oh yes.
little side thing where it was the same idea. You would send a Pokemon to your Pokewalker, and as you walked around, it would gain experience points. I think kind of slowly, like one experience point per step. So as you walked around and did things in the day, like your Pokemon would be leveling up. And that's
Right.
just from you walking. I'm getting a comment. Somebody says 49.99.
Right.
That's what I'm afraid of. But at the same time, I get it because like the thing's a controller. Like
Right.
it's got I imagine it has a lot of technology packed into it. Like the commercial had Pikachu yelling out of it, so that it has some sort of speakers,
Right.
some sort of
Right.
knowledge base to know what Pokemon is in there. I am interested to know if you can
True.
put
True.
different Pokemon in there. Um,
Right. And unless hopefully it's not enhanced for the video, but it sounded pretty good. So yeah, there's a lot going on there, and it has Bluetooth as well.
Yeah, so yeah, there is a lot going on. The little thing that you press to make the Pokeball grow so you can capture your Pokemon or throw your Pokemon out or,
Right.
just that button. I don't know what they call it. I want like a diagram of a Pokeball and all of its components listed out so I can know what to call the little button on there. But anyways,
Right.
that's a joystick, and I think the whole Pokeball like clicks. And I think that might be like a confirmation thing. That's the impression
Right.
I got from watching the trailer. Um, but yeah,
You know, if it would get bigger when you press it, I would pay way more for that thing. I always wanted a Pokeball that would, mimic the growing action. That'd be awesome.
that is 100% a fact. Because every time I see like a model Pokeball, I'm just immediately disappointed that it doesn't act like a real in the show Pokeball.
Right.
Yeah. So, anyways, after that, so we've got 3 games confirmed. If you count each version of the Pokemon games
Ah.
as different games, which I think you kind of have to, because there's some people buy one and not the other. Plenty of people buy both, but there'll be different games for now. So after that, they did say that they were working on like a full core game
Core.
for
Right.
Pokemon, which I think is also good. It's good that they're announcing all of these things together,
Yes.
because I think the people who are really into Pokemon and want to see whatever's new with it would have been just disappointed if it was just that.
Right.
Um, but I think to know that there is like a game that they're looking forward to more, I think not only does that like sell them on the idea of Pikachu and Eevee, or Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee,
Hmm.
I think they're gonna come at it from a perspective of like, oh, this is just like my in between game that I'm gonna play before the next one comes out.
Right.
And so
Right.
Pokemon, they just know how to make money. They know it better than a lot of companies.
Right.
and they've been doing it for 20 years now, and I don't think they're gonna stop.
Oh no, right. So if we think about it, they gave us something brand new with Pokemon Quest, something familiar but new or different enough with Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, and then they still saying in We Got Your Back for the people that only care about the core series, wait for the second half of 2019 and we've got you covered. So they they got all the things going on. Like you said, money is coming to them.
Yeah, they've covered all of their bases. They've got a very good plan into next year. Like the next couple of years, Pokemon is going to be doing great. And
Right.
I always say, like, or I always bring up that, like, Nintendo is trying to hit that 20 million mark with the
Mhm.
Switch. I really think they're going to go well above it. Um, Judging by just the first year performance, like they almost sold 18 million Switches in that
Right.
first year. And I'm like, I mean, you honestly don't need too much to get you to that 20,000 or 20 million mark
Mhm.
the next year. Like you were only 2 million away in that first year. Um, so I don't know. I think popularity for a device like that, it tends to like snowball, you know? And
Yes.
as
Right.
more and more people see it and get the idea behind it and connect with that, they're going to be buying it. So
Yes.
the new games, they're easily going to get the Switch over that 20 million mark, I think.
Hmm.
Um, I guess my one worry is that Nintendo didn't say they wanted to hit 40 million units, because then we'd know Animal Crossing was coming out.
True.
That's the game that would get them there. So yeah, that I don't know. Did you have anything else to say about Pokemon?
Yeah, I'm just still waiting on another mystery dungeon game for like you said, because we need one for the Alola region. And now that I think about it, this might be the next part of Pokemon that they take to mobile.
Well,
I think that would make sense.
yeah, I think Pokemon has a lot of mobile games, like more so than like Nintendo's own mobile games. Whenever I look it up on the App Store, I'm always like, oh, there are so many different games. Like there was one I'd never seen talked about or heard about. Like I think it was called Pokemon Duel.
Yes.
I didn't know anything about that. And so, yeah, I was just surprised to see all of the different things there. They've got Magikarp Jump. They've got like a little camp
Oh, that's right.
game for that's definitely
Yes.
for kids.
Right.
Pokemon Shuffle. They have a free version of Pokemon Rumble on the 3DS, but
Right.
that one's
Oh, that's
not
right.
on the smartphones, right?
Right.
Yeah, I think that one's just 3DS. So yeah, there are tons of games that Pokemon's putting out, and so I don't know. I don't know why I was so surprised to think that they'd get a game out so quick. But at the same
Right.
time, it makes sense because they're really only just remaking a game this year,
Right.
and I'm sure that's a lot easier to do than create, I don't know, however many Pokemon they want to add in this next generation.
Right. And I am a little bit concerned at the fact that there's no random battles in the Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, but considering that they're changing the formula in many places, um, cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, and I guess was that confirmed by like an official source?
Mm, good point. I think so. I want to say they did.
Okay. Well, that's strange. I wonder how. I imagine it's going to be like a more simplified battle system to account for, because a lot of the game's kind of a grind.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm seeing Dakota I Rossetti L. He's usually IRL. Confirm that, yeah, they're saying there's no random battles.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I guess my question about that is like if you're intended to catch Pokemon in this game, like that's the main thing, are they just gonna give you Pokeballs? Because
Right.
the beginning of the game is kind of tough to catch everything because
Yes.
you have to spend all your money on Pokeballs.
And right.
So I imagine it's going to have like a much easier way to, just get a bunch of Pokeballs to use in that game because you're going to be throwing them like crazy.
Right.
Especially if you have a real Pokeball that you're holding.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait to see on Twitter if anybody's like smashed their TV with, but just by accidentally letting go of that Pokeball
Right.
and trying to capture their TV. So yeah, this is Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast, so we should probably
Yeah.
move on over from Pokemon and get to talking about kind of like, I guess we'll talk about the live show after E3 a bit, just to update everyone again. We are doing a live show. This is, of course, the test for that live show. Hopefully it is going well. I forgot to play my music cue right now, so I'm making notes of the little things that I'm forgetting. Yeah, mental notes. I should probably write this down. But anyways, yeah, the live show is going to take place, once again, after Nintendo's E3 presentation, which I was thinking about it this morning, and usually they tell us how long the presentation is going to be.
Right.
We haven't seen any of that yet. I wonder...
Right.
I wonder if they're going to tell us or when.
I think so. Probably within a week. I think last year that's how it was.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't really remember the timeline of when they said that. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so within a week. Oh, these weeks can't move fast enough. But at the same time, all this fun stuff is happening. So I'm like, okay, it's going to be fun. So you know what they say. Time flies when you're having fun. So anyways, yeah, that live show, I'm hoping it goes well. It won't be as continuous as this, so maybe this is going to be a smoother experience for everyone. Right. Just because there are going to be interruptions during this live show, specifically the Nintendo Treehouse things. I imagine a lot of you, as well as Sergio and I, want to see whatever is covered at the treehouse. So we'll call them commercial breaks during the show. We'll just say, and now for a message from our sponsors, Nintendo. Of course, they're not sponsoring us. I wish. Oh, that'd be so cool. Maybe if we ever get that Nintendo brand ambassadorship,
right.
they'll have somebody here to talk to us about Animal Crossing. That'd be cool. That'd be the coolest.
Someday.
Yeah, one day. So I guess just for a little bit of audience interaction, I want to start by asking you all some questions about this E3. So far, we know about Super Smash Bros., Yoshi, Fire Emblem, and Metroid. I used to have Pokemon on this list, but, we just got that stuff yesterday. But out of Super Smash Bros., Yoshi, Fire Emblem, and Metroid, which game are you most excited about? So yeah, you can leave your comments for that in the test E3 room as they come in. Sergio, out of those, which one do you want?
I'm looking forward to Yoshi too.
Yeah. Yoshi is
getting mentioned.
Yoshi's just been getting like cuter and cuter. Yoshi's always been like a pretty cute platformer to play. But like as it goes on, they're really nailing it with like the stylized look that they're going for. Like Yarn Yoshi, that was great. That whole world was so colorful and fun. Yeah. Man, I like that game a lot. I should go back and try to beat it because I haven't beaten it. I kind of played a bit and then at some point got distracted by the Switch because I got that game late. So yeah, let's kind of take a look at what everybody's looking forward to. Dakota IRL says Yoshi, all caps of course because Yoshi's adorable. Dave's House says Smash. I think that's a good game. For your partner, Dave's House, I know you've mentioned that he's kind of competitive, so Smash. That's a competitive game right there. Yeah. That's where you settle things. You settle it in Smash. Ruby Crimson says Animal Crossing, and not what I listed, but Great. That's the best answer.
Right, right, right.
We've got Hotaru, which is firefly in Japanese. She taught us
Mhm.
this, but she's looking forward to Fire Emblem. Also, if you have a certain, I guess, if you have pronouns that you want me to address you by, be sure to correct me because I want to make sure I get those right. Dragon Flame says Smash. Jessica Lynn says Smash and Yoshi are a tie. And
Oh,
then Digicho says Smash and Fire Emblem equally. Dragon Flame says a little later on, but also Fire Emblem. So Smash and Fire Emblem are big. Um, Jessica Lynn also says, but Animal
what?
Crossing, lol. LOL. Infinite Mallet says Yoshi and Fire Emblem. Ruby Crimson saying JK, Smash. Earlier she said Animal Crossing. And Dakota IRL says Yoshi commits tax fraud. um, so yeah, Yoshi's Cardboard World is popular. Yeah, I guess nobody really. No, everybody mentioned like all the games except for Metroid. Hmm. I wonder what's up with that. Nobody's looking forward to Metroid Prime 4. What is this? I actually, I haven't played it, any of the Metroids except for the beginning of Metroid Prime 1. I got
Oh, okay.
I got lost, and then I was like, I'm gonna go play something else, and then I never played Metroid Prime again. I was a bit intimidated.
Right. Also, apparently, people don't expect to see it at E3. That's the comments we're getting. So that's interesting. I'm not sure. I think they should. I think we should see it.
um, yeah, I guess I don't know. Let's talk about last E3 a little bit because my thoughts on some of these, um, I guess, announcements that we got last E3 were very torn. Um, and I'm already wrong, essentially. So they announced Metroid and they announced Pokemon, right?
Right.
I was under the impression, because all we got from Metroid was a logo, I was under the impression that this game has just started development.
Right.
I in no way believed that they were anywhere near finishing a Metroid game, right?
Mhm. Right.
Um, Also, they at the first little announcement at the treehouse after the show um, was of a Metroid game coming to 3DS, a remake, right?
Yes. Right.
And so my thought was they're probably announcing a real Metroid Prime game just to avoid backlash for announcing a remake
Yes.
3DS game, you know?
Right.
So that was my reaction then. Pokemon, I had a similar type of reaction where the week before E3,
Mm.
Pokemon held a direct. And during that direct, after that direct, everybody was mad. Not everybody, but a lot of people were angry because Pokemon. Well, they just didn't announce a Switch game. You know, that's what
Right.
everybody
Right.
added or
They
wanted.
they announced Pokken remastered, and yeah, everybody was expecting a mainline game.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of pulled an Animal Crossing on that one, where they're like, "Oh, this is it. We're gonna get
Oh.
a Nintendo Switch Pokemon game," and they're like, "You guys are right. You're getting Pokken Remastered or Pokken Tournament Deluxe, right?"
Right.
And it's just like E3 2015. We're getting that Wii U Animal Crossing game, and Nintendo's like, "You're totally right. You guys are getting Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival." So so yeah, to me the Pokemon announcement last E3 felt like they were just making up for the lack of actual Pokemon Switch news
Hmm.
at the direct. But here we are. They are pulling through. They're bringing a Pokemon in 2018. I really didn't think it was going to be a 2018 game, but
Mhm.
there we go. We're getting not one, not two, but three Pokemon games on Switch.
Right.
um, yeah. So, like I said, I was wrong about Pokemon. we'll see what happens with Metroid, but I'm still thinking maybe not.
Right, right. I think they should show it in. I still don't expect Metroid Prime 4 this year. Maybe late next year, but I think we should see it. There's a lot of questions, and we're curious as to who really is developing it. Is it first person? Is it something else? I think they should show it.
Yeah, I hope they do. Because I think that fan base, even more than Animal Crossing, has been dragged along for a long time.
Right,
And
right.
I think that was part of their announcement. Like, they knew people have been wanting this new Metroid Prime game for a long time.
Yes.
Even longer than we've wanted a new Animal Crossing. I have to give them that.
Yes.
So there they go. They got some confirmation. But please give us some confirmation too. We matter.
Right.
So as far as me, I guess I'm most excited. I probably actually I don't know if I would have said Smash based on these things. I think I still would have said Fire Emblem.
Hmm.
I think mostly because last time I went back to Smash, I was a bit salty because it was unplayable. I tried to play online. I was
Ooh.
like, all right, I'm not good. I haven't played in maybe a year. So I tried to play online just to play with somebody on Smash, and I said, I'm going to play for fun on my 3DS. It doesn't work. The online is
Oh.
terrible. It's so laggy. I was like, this is unplayable. Fine, I'll try For Glory. And so I go into For Glory and I'm like,
Mhm.
this doesn't work. It's unplayable. Everybody's really good and they just kick my butt. This isn't fun. So I'm coming at this a little bit salty at Smash because I haven't played in a while.
Right.
But Fire Emblem, I've enjoyed every Fire Emblem game that I've played. So
Mhm.
I've always really liked that. Unfortunately, my first Fire Emblem, well, also fortunately, because I still really like that game a lot, but my first one was Radiant Dawn on the Wii. And
Okay.
that one has become famous for having a mistranslation on the difficulty settings. So what I thought was normal difficulty, me as a beginner playing Fire Emblem for the first time, was actually hard. And somehow I beat that game in
Wow.
4 years. It took me a very long time.
Oh wow! And so you thought you were playing on normal, then you were very well trained, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely died a lot. I remember the first level I played. I was like, "What is going? Is the first level supposed to be this hard?" Because I kept getting game overs, and I was like, "What is going on?" So I dealt with a lot of deaths and restarting and saying, "No, I can't lose you." Because yeah, the
Right.
permadeath feature was not an option not an option to turn off back in those
Right.
days.
Right.
Um, but still, I went through that grind and it was wonderful.
Nice.
I loved the challenge. I guess I just like games that are incredibly difficult to beat.
Hmm. Right. Right. Because they're still fun.
Yeah, so I have more questions for our listeners here on Discord. The next one is I'm gonna. This is the best one. I want to know your answers. Do you all think Animal Crossing is going to get announced at this E3?
Oh.
As you all know, I've been working on a video series on this topic, so please just let us know and we'll read them out as they come in. Um, but yeah, I I'm feeling it. I am feeling like this is the year, and I'm letting myself get my hopes up. I have a couple friends who I've played Splatoon with forever since the Wii U, right? And I
Mhm.
was talking to them, and I was all, "You all have to be there to catch me if I'm disappointed." And Animal Crossing isn't
Oh.
announced. um, so, what do you think, Sergio? Do you think it's coming? Do you think this is the year to get an announcement?
I think so. I think so. You know what I was thinking earlier? Even though it doesn't make sense, if Nintendo does a Zizzle reel, I don't know. I don't think they did one last year, but if they do one, I think we're gonna see Animal Crossing in there.
Yes. I I still remember the first time we saw New Leaf, and that was essentially the same kind of thing. It was a sizzle
Yes.
reel for
Right.
everything coming to the 3DS, you know? And at that point, we got like a 7-second little clip of Animal Crossing stuff, and I was like, the 3DS is the must buy console of the century. um, yeah, just knowing that it was coming, that was great. So let's take a look at the answers. Hotaru says yes. I hope. A lot of exclamation points in that one. Infinite Mallet is a yes. Diona, sorry if I say that incorrectly once again. They say, I feel it in my guts, which is great. Dakota gave us a thumbs up. Dave's House says, oh man, thinks about it for a little bit, get that ... in there. Yes. Jessica says, yes, I have all of the hope in the world. We need this.
Right.
Ruby Crimson, I hope so, yes. Oh no, Dakota says yes
Oh.
again, but it's coming to 3DS. Let's actually talk about that a little bit. So the other day, uh, I listen to a lot of Nintendo podcasts, as I'm sure you do, Sergio. We actually met listening to another Nintendo podcast. But I was listening to the Nintendo Voice Chat, which is IGN's podcast. They don't really need a
Right.
plug because, you know, they're IGN and they're huge. But just so you know, I listen to them. Just happened to. But anyways, one of the people on that show who I no longer like, I've crossed them out from my like list. I keep tabs of everyone who likes Animal Crossing on that show. But anyways, one of them said, I really want to see Animal Crossing on the 3DS again. And I was like, this is blasphemous. How could you?
Right.
That is the last thing I want to see. Just to give you an idea, when Animal Crossing was first shown in 2010, and I saw that, it was a long time before we heard about the game again. They actually like kept us waiting year after year for any New Leaf news, you know? Um,
Mhm.
and I actually thought like, oh, the Wii U just came out. Maybe they don't want it to be a 3DS game anymore. Maybe they're bringing it to the Wii U.
Hmm.
So for a little bit, I thought they weren't talking about it because it was actually going to be an HD Animal Crossing. Um,
Right.
of course, I'm sure they already had put a lot of work into the 3DS version, and it's a great game. So it's great that they came out on the 3DS, but I'm like, I've been waiting for an HD Animal Crossing for a long time. So to hear them say they want it on 3DS, which already has 2 Animal Crossing games, I might
Yes.
add, 2 of them. They've got New Leaf and they got Happy Home Designer, and those are the best Animal Crossing games to come out as of recently.
Yes.
They're better than Amiibo Festival, and they're better than Pocket Camp.
Yes.
Both have their charms, of course. Pocket Camp, I'd say, is still a good game, still pretty fun.
Mhm.
Amiibo Festival is HD, pretty good, I guess.
Right.
um, but yeah, those 2 games are on 3DS, and I'm like, they've had a great life on that console. The 3DS is it's for sure near the end of its life. The
Yes.
support for that console has slowed down dramatically. So to me it just doesn't make sense to put another Animal Crossing game onto the 3DS just because I think it's a game that lasts a while. So like
Right.
you're
Mhm.
intended to play Animal Crossing for a year or more, you know? Um, so I just don't think it
Easily.
makes
Right.
sense for the 3DS. I think it needs to be on a console with a much longer lifespan ahead of it.
Right. I don't think even a port of a previous Animal Crossing makes sense on the 3DS. Maybe in 2016 or so, before the Switch was out. But now with the Switch, it doesn't make any sense. No.
Yeah. You know, some people are thinking, like, they mentioned the idea of, I think Mayor Mori mentioned this, and maybe even BR Many. I don't know if you watch those YouTubers who
Yes.
are also doing Animal Crossing stuff, but both of them, I think, have mentioned the possibility of the GameCube spin-off, or not a spin-off, but the GameCube being remade
Yes.
into a 3DS for the eShop. So
Right, because they were testing Luigi's Mansion as well, and look what we're getting later this year.
yeah, which was funny because there was early on before the Switch was finally like out and confirmed in the world. I think Eurogamer had a post about GameCube Virtual Console, and the three games that were ready, at least from what they had heard, were Luigi's Mansion, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Smash Bros. Melee. But Animal Crossing was in the works for that.
Yes, right.
So yeah, I think people are expecting some sort of GameCube support soon because we haven't gotten any for a while. And
Yes.
yeah, funny enough, like the GameCube was not a big seller. Um,
Hmm.
Before the Wii, there were some missteps from Nintendo. Uh, and, you know, at that, I was a kid then, so I didn't really know. I just knew I liked playing Nintendo games, you know? So, but one of the big things with like the N64 was because not a lot of people got an N64, surprisingly. Like, it's such a beloved console, you know?
Right.
Um, but not a lot of people got it because PlayStation came out and they were using compact discs for their games, and everybody was like, that feels more like the next generation than doing these cartridges again.
Yes.
Funny enough, we're back at cartridges with Nintendo.
Right.
But yeah, essentially, like, people chose the PlayStation over the N64 just because of the game discs instead of a cartridge. And then Nintendo moved on to the GameCube and started using discs, but a
Right.
lot cuter. Ga- GameCube discs are adorable. They're so tiny and they're so cute. And but it's the same kind of thing. I think people were scared off of it because of the medium. They're like, "Oh, this isn't
Right.
really something that sticks." The CD feels more long lasting, you know.
Right. Right. You could say they couldn't handle it,
Yeah.
which is, another part that people didn't like about the GameCube, the fact that it had a little handle.
Yeah, the handle is very nifty. If you ever wanted to take your GameCube somewhere, you could just carry it with that handle. um, yeah, the GameCube's a cute console, and I've told this story before, but I used as a kid, I think I was in fifth or sixth grade, but I would out of paper or cardboard make my own little GameCube and then pretend to play games on it. I also made
Right.
a paper TV. It was cute. I drew
Did you
pictures.
put that? Did you make a paper handle for it?
Yeah, I did. And I'd carry around.
Good.
And then a lot of kids started doing that after I was like, oh, check this out. Because we were all kind of excited about the GameCube. And I was like, check this out. I made my own little GameCube. And everybody was like, cool, I want to do that. So
Right.
a lot of, they kind of showed me up a bit. So I'm mad at them. But
And
my materials were pretty good, though.
you were doing Lavo before it was cool.
Yeah, Labo existed in my life long before today.
Right. And we're getting a comment from Dakota asking whoever did that about carrying the GameCube with the handle. I did, but just from one room to another.
Yeah,
Nothing too big, but I used it.
yeah, and I mean, I like the idea a lot, but at the same time, you're like, where's the handle for my wires and all the other things that I need to actually
Yeah,
plug
right.
this in? So, in some ways, it didn't make sense completely. Whereas
It
now, like the Switch, you pick that thing up. You take it to another room. I don't have a second TV in my house, so I don't need another dock. But if you
mhm.
had a second dock, you just take that Switch over to your room, and there you go. You have a
Yeah.
gaming station everywhere.
Yeah, but for sure the handle was a really Nintendo-like thing to do.
Yeah, I love it. So let me go through some more people's, I guess, reactions or answers to the question if they think Animal Crossing is getting announced.
Mhm.
DigiCho says, I think it does within early 2019 release. Fingers crossed. 3 times. I think that's great. Dragon Flame says, do I think so? Do I really think so? Do I really, really think so? Then he continues a little further down. I mostly don't think so, but it's possible. Well, we'll see. um, and then Hotaru said, "How can anyone say no to this?" Yeah, Dakota also followed up. It's perfect spring/summer 2019. Hotaru
Yes.
also said maybe not a trailer, but we got for Pokemon last E3 as possible, then a long direct later. I'd say that's a good
Oh,
possibility.
yes.
I love the Animal Crossing directs. The one for the Welcome Amiibo update, so great. Who doesn't want to see a person dressed up in a KK Slider suit and another one kind of dressed up like Harvey?
Right.
Yeah. I wonder if Harvey will come back.
Oh, he
Make
should. He has to.
Yeah, because I always feel
Oh,
bad thinking about the characters that haven't made a return
mhm.
to the series. So yeah, what were you gonna say?
I think he should. He's gonna be back soon in a gardening event. Another one of
Oh,
those
another Guardian
in
event.
a pocket camp. Yeah.
Well, is the next? I guess the next gardening event is Digby, right? Is it going to be the modern
Uh,
things or
has it
shoot?
been confirmed? I heard that that was most likely the case. Yes.
Yeah.
And it begins. Yeah, it begins tonight because it starts on the 31st.
Oh, I see Dakota also asking who um, in the Nintendo voice chat was the person who said they wanted to see Animal Crossing on the 3DS. He asked if it's
All
Pierre,
right.
Brian, Philip. It wasn't any of them. It's one of the. Because, they have some guest people. I don't know this guy's name, but he has a funny haircut and a mustache. I showed Jackie what he looks like once, and she thought he looks so weird. And not to make fun of his appearance or anything, but he's very distinct looking with like his hairstyle and the mustache that he has. But I'm not trying to make fun of him, but he did say he wants to see Animal Crossing on 3DS. You all be the judge of that on your own. I'm not saying he's evil, but he might be. So let's see. I have another question for all of you. And so far we've mentioned Animal Crossing, of course. We've mentioned Super Smash Bros., Yoshi, Fire Emblem, and Metroid. Those are all games that, we love Animal Crossing and we've heard something about those other games. But what games, this is also a question for the Discord audience, what games are you hoping to see that aren't that bunch? I mean, you're free to say Animal Crossing still, but of, yeah, just other Nintendo games that you're interested in seeing. One of my big disappointments at a direct earlier this year was that the next WarioWare game was going to be for 3DS.
Yes.
I was hoping so badly for a Switch WarioWare game. Um, Kind of disappointing that it's not happening just because I had a lot of fun playing WarioWare on the TV with people, like Smooth Moves for the Wii.
Yes.
That one was a lot of fun to me because it had like a bunch of great multiplayer modes and challenge modes and everything. And it's easier to pull that off on a TV where everybody can sit and see it. And,
Yes.
not everybody has to have their own DS console or 3DS console to play along. You can just show up and share the fun.
Right.
Yeah, are there any games you're hoping to see that aren't any of the ones we already mentioned?
Yes. It's a long, 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 long shot, but I would love to see a new Rhythm Heaven for the Switch.
Yes, Rhythm Heaven. I kind of heard this secondhand, but is the creator of Rhythm Heaven? I heard something about their health, like they're having,
Oh, I think you're right.
yeah, something about their health being not the greatest, and so
Hmm.
the next game hasn't been worked on yet. Um,
Oh, that's too bad.
yeah, so I don't know if that's true. If anybody knows, let us know.
Yeah,
um,
that sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that was kind of the rumor I heard around that game. But yes, Rhythm Heaven, and WarioWare come from that same family,
Yes.
that same company making those games, and I love them. They're doing great things.
Yeah.
You could say it's gold. I say that because the next WarioWare is going to be WarioWare Gold.
Right.
Though, what's the name in Japanese? Because the Japan title is different, and it's so much better.
Rhythm Paradise.
No, not the Rhythm Paradise. The WarioWare
Oh, that's
Gold
in Europe.
game. Um,
Oh, okay. No, I'm not sure.
it's something WarioWare themed, and it's hilarious. Like something in Wario, I forget.
Wario de something.
Yeah. So let me scroll up and try to find where I left off on seeing what everybody said. Um, okay, so Poke Trainer Jiro, hey. He changed his name. He was I think Cyborg Eevee earlier today.
Oh,
But he says still Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. So
yes, yes, yes,
shares
yes.
that love with you, Sergio. He definitely wants to see that. Jessica Lynn 88 says a new Mario Kart for Switch. Yeah,
Ooh,
I think that would be cool because it doesn't seem
yeah.
like they're interested in doing another round of DLC for that game.
Right, right.
Um, Otherwise, I think we would have gotten it by now, you know?
Yes.
Um, and I don't know if Mario Kart is in that same boat as Pokemon, but you know, we've got the announcement that they're getting a mobile game, a Mario Kart mobile game.
Yes. Right.
And so I'm just hoping it doesn't fall to the same fate as Pokemon where we're like, okay, we got the mobile game and it's nice, but like, you know what we really want, Nintendo? We want the big game for Switch. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping it doesn't become a mystery like that because I think, yeah, Mario Kart's fun. And we haven't really had two Mario Karts on a single console, you know?
No.
So I wonder also if how long they would wait for that. The one thing that I do think is going to be unique about the Switch is that I think we're going to see Nintendo intends to have this console last longer than the typical console life, you know?
Yes. Hmm.
So I think it's totally possible to see like major titles released. Like we have Zelda Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey right now. I think if they're really planning on having a really long lifespan for the Switch, we could see another
Mm.
major Zelda game and major Mario game on the
Right.
Switch. Um, just like, you know, and Mario games kind of come out a bit faster than Zelda, but for example, like the Wii had both Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2.
Yes. Right.
So we could see Mario Odyssey and Mario Odyssey 2 if they decide to keep with that theme and do a sequel with
Yes.
that.
Right.
It seemed like a lot of people like it. Obviously, it's the best-selling game on Wii, or not Wii, sorry. It's the best-selling game on Switch right now. Um, so I'm going to keep reading through. Ruby Crimson says Pikmin 4 and Animal Crossing, of course. Pikmin 4. I would love that. Have you played a
Yeah.
Pikmin game yet?
I played 1 and 2, but
Okay.
I never got into 3. It sounds silly, but I missed the swarming feature. Remember when you would use the C stick?
Yeah, that is the one thing I want. I think you can still do it in
Oh,
the games,
how?
but that's the part. I don't know. I don't remember how. I don't know how. Um, I,
Because
I
I'll come back.
I don't know the button commands to do it. So I liked Pikmin 3 a lot. My
Mhm.
one thing was, and this was a problem with the Wii U in general that I had, but I played Pikmin 3 and I used the Wii controls, right? So the point
Yes.
and click. Because I think that control scheme works very well for the Pikmin games, you know?
Mhm.
So I played with that, but my problem was that I still needed the gamepad for things.
Yes. Right.
Um, I think that that was too bad. Like whenever you picked up like some special thing, like a note that Olimar left for people who landed on that, you know, that planet.
Mhm.
Whenever you got one of those notes, it would direct you to the gamepad to read it. And I was like, I'm not playing with the gamepad. I'm playing with the Wii remote. Like, can't you just show it to me on the TV without it
Right.
being like super tiny? So I have to squint or get real close to my screen so I could read it at all. Um, so I don't know. I those like kind of forced Wii U gamepad features on the Wii U, like those were things I didn't really like.
Yes,
I would have liked
agreed.
if it was optional.
Yeah.
Um,
And they could have made it optional, but they just wanted. Back then, they were still trying to sort of force the integration of the gamepad screen.
they tried so hard to get people to understand the Wii U gamepad because you know just back then everybody thought was like, okay, is this just a new accessory for my Wii that's called the U? I don't know. Um,
Yeah.
so it was all very confusing, but I feel like that forced feature of Pikmin 3 was the one thing I didn't like about it. Overall, I had a lot of fun playing the game, but
Mhm.
Jackie also got really sad when my Pikmin were dying. She didn't like that at all.
Yeah.
She's shaking her head right now. They don't deserve it, she says. um, Anyways, let's continue. Dragon Flame says, I want to see Super Mario Maker 2 or Luigi's Mansion 3. Yes. Yes to both of those.
Right.
Especially because Miiverse is dead now. And I feel like that was a lot of fun with Super Mario Maker. Like people leaving comments on people's levels and going, I can't believe you would do this to me or something. Like just the feedback, like somebody leaving a comment on your level and saying that was really fun and challenging and I loved the level. That felt so good. And so I don't know, I'd like to see Super Mario Maker 2 have its own little, I guess, system of doing that now that it's
Right.
dead on the Wii U essentially. And Luigi's Mansion 3, I would like that a lot too.
Yes.
We
Yes.
mentioned Luigi's Mansion was announced at the just a direct on the 3DS, you know.
Right.
Um, but I never played the original Luigi's Mansion. It was a game I missed on the GameCube, but I
Mhm.
played the second one on 3DS, and I had a really good time with it. So I wouldn't mind a third
Oh,
one at all.
right. Right. And if you ever do feel like playing the first one, I think you should. It's very different from the second one, and it's a really good game.
Yeah, so good. Um, And then Diona said, I haven't given up on Paper Mario yet, though maybe
Yes.
I should.
No, no, don't do it. I want a real RPG Paper Mario with experience and partners. I mean, it has to happen someday, some year.
Yes, Paper Mario is fun. Paper Mario is one of the few virtual console games that I actually got on the Wii U um, because it's just that good. So if they came
Yeah,
out, everybody wants a 1,000 Year Door. Like that's their ultimate Paper Mario experience. So I'm
right.
surprised they haven't brought it back yet.
Yeah.
Nintendo would make good money off of that. Dakota says new Super Mario Bros. Without the new, so just a Super Mario Bros. Game. That'd be interesting, actually. Like a
Yeah.
revamped Super Mario Bros. Going back to like kind of the basics, but
Yes.
just like reinventing it because like platformers now and I feel spoiled after playing Celeste because Celeste was phenomenal,
Mm.
but like some platformers are just like so tight and the controls feel so good, and I know people really praise Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. I was watching
Yes.
an Arlo video, and he made a really good point about the level design and how platforms in that game, like, they weren't just floating there. Like, they had something on the screen caused the platform to be where it is and why you
Yes.
have to
Right.
jump there. And I'm like, that's a really good point. Like, that's a beautiful design for level.
hmm
Just to really give a reason for everything on screen. And then Dakota also said a good Mario Party.
Yes.
I would say a good Mario Party with online,
Yes.
please.
That's it. And we're done. Cancel pretty much everything else except Animal Crossing. We're gonna be busy.
Yes. Yeah. So a good Mario Party, that's great. And online on those games, I feel I don't know why they avoid it with some games, um, like
Yeah,
Kirby.
especially yeah, that one too. But yeah, especially now with Discord, everyone can voice chat with their friends. It just makes so much sense. Even a remake of even the first Mario Party, but with online on the Switch. That would be awesome.
Yeah, though the first Mario Party has some problems because of some of the video games, though specifically the ones that are you're supposed to spin the joystick as fast as possible.
Right.
That's dangerous. That would give me blisters on like the palm of my hands from trying
Right.
to spin that joystick. Um, yeah, so there's some dangerous mini games in that first Mario Party. I think that's why Mario Party 2 gets so much praise. Like
Yes.
they recognized that in the game and kind of removed those types of mini games. Um,
Yeah.
but
And if I remember correctly, Mario Party 2 came out for the Wii Virtual Console, but Mario Party 1 never did.
yeah, yeah, it did. And they should do Mario Party 3 too, because I think that one gets
Yes.
overlooked, and that one's also really good.
Yeah.
Specifically, like that one had a duel mode where you kind of got like different Mario characters that fought alongside you.
Yes.
That was fun. So let's see if there are any other things that haven't been mentioned. We've got more Paper Mario. Dragonflame did say a Kid Icarus Uprising sequel. I didn't play the first one, but I've heard nothing but good things.
Mhm.
So I think that would be good. Some more chatter about Mario Party, Paper Mario, Rhythm Heaven, Tengoku. um, Infinite Mallet said I'd love a new Project Diva for Switch. I've not played Project Diva, but apparently there's a lot of love for this game right here. So I don't know. Yeah, I just don't know. Um, all right. So I think some people headed out. We have been on for an hour, so we should probably get to our last little portion, which was earlier today. I announced that we were doing this live show, and I asked you all to just submit some questions. I forget what my wording was. I said, ask us anything about Animal Crossing, any other like Nintendo games or video games in general, our favorite colors, our favorite dessert, our go-to dessert. um, so let's actually start with that. So Dragon Flame earlier today said, "What is your go-to dessert?"
You went for it, huh?
Yep. So, what do you like to eat, Sergio?
An easy one to get access to, I guess, or easier than my favorite is cheesecake. Just regular cheesecake or New York style, if I can be picky.
Yes, I that that's my number two go to, just because I am really into bread pudding.
Oh,
So
nice.
I'd say bread pudding is my go to if they have that. If not, cheesecake for sure. I love
Right.
cheesecake, and then pretty much anything where they put like ice cream on top, delicious.
Yeah.
I have a sweet
Yeah.
tooth.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, my favorite, if I can track it down quickly enough, tiramisu. Oh, I love it.
Yes. So delicious. Dragonflame is loving this cheesecake love.
Oh,
He's highly respecting the cheesecake love. Yeah. Cheesecake is delicious.
yeah.
I could eat that all the time. You shouldn't, but but it's great. Bandana Bro Hicks said, "What are your thoughts on using fruit to make items? Would it be out of character with Animal Crossing, or would it be a good addition? Also, still sad in New Leaf, I can't take my coffee beans and coffee making furniture and make coffee."
True.
um, so what do you think about this?
I was trying to figure out exactly how we could do that. For example, I had mentioned previously, for example, using bugs to make ink or crafting supplies that you could use in game. I guess if we did something like that with fruit, maybe to make like a smoothie and you could place it on a table and show it off, or maybe Banana Bro is thinking something different, but I think they should do it.
Yeah, and you know what? To some extent, this does exist in some form. Like, if you, in New Leaf, you know, you can put your fruit onto one thing and make a fruit basket.
Right.
You can display that in your home. Like, you can put that fruit basket on your table and it'll show up as a decoration. Um,
Oh yeah, in my kitchen I have one of everything out and about.
oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I think that's good to have there. But yeah, as far as making fruit items, I guess I'm down. I wouldn't mind it. Like for if you went over like Cyrus and wanted to get something customized and make it like fruit themed, go. You can use your fruit and say I want this kind of pattern on there, and Cyrus will make that happen.
Yeah, that would be an easier way to change the color of an item instead of having to find a precious gem that is that color. Just find the fruit that is the color.
Yeah, and you bring up something very interesting because it would be really cool to like have different types of crafting materials. Like I know crafting materials is the big new thing with Pocket Camp, but
Mhm.
like expanding on those crafting materials and saying like, oh, you need to collect this fruit to get this color dye to change your couch.
Mhm.
I think that'd be a pretty cool feature, kind of growing the way things can be crafted and everything.
Yeah, yeah. And a question for you, since you brought it up, how we can display our fruit in New Leaf. Do you know if you showcase perfect fruit, does it look different than regular fruit? I don't recall.
I think it does. I think you can. You do get like that perfect fruit look if
Right,
you
right.
use those in the basket.
Oh, nice. So,
Um,
oh man, so you could have even two of each.
yeah, that'd be great. I just sold all my perfect fruits all the time. Um, and then I stopped shaking the trees, but I'd kind of really like to have them ready for like fall when the leaves like all fall
Ah,
off of
yes.
it. I think it would
Right.
be really nice to have in your town some trees that are missing their leaves in the fall.
Yeah.
It'd be
Hmm.
really cute. um, yeah, I don't know if anybody's tried this, but can you get furniture from a tree that has lost its leaves?
Oh,
I imagine you can't, just because, like, fruit trees you can't get furniture or bells from.
right.
And so that tree had to have been a fruit tree to
Right.
lose its
Okay.
leaves. So I'm guessing no, now that
Right.
I think of it.
They
And
just creak.
yeah, trying to be logical. So, Hotaru asked, which features do you think could come back in later games like the Switch version that weren't in New Leaf? I really miss the gyroid storage. Um, so, are there any features that from past games that you miss that haven't come back yet?
I would like to see the acre system come back. If you were able to choose, oh, I want the round world, and then I can change at any time I want into the acre system. I don't know if they could do that, but that'd be a nice, cool throwback.
Yeah, that would be pretty interesting because, yeah, we haven't had an acre system since the first game, the very first one. And so
Right.
since then, the camera has been that pin world type of camera.
Yes.
So, yeah, I like that. One thing I would like is the GameCube Animal Crossing and Wild World kind of had a lot of unique holidays.
Hmm.
Things like the flea market in Wild World or Acorn Day in Wild World, and like the sporting events in the GameCube game. Um, I think more and more I would like to see holidays outside of like the regular real world holidays that we celebrate in Animal Crossing
Yes.
and kind of see those like unique Animal Crossing specific holidays. Like it's not a real holiday. Maybe it's inspired by one, but it's just
Right.
this is the world of Animal Crossing, and these are the holidays they celebrate. So
Yeah.
I'd like to see those kinds of things come back. Another thing, because I was watching a video of that talked about like features in the original GameCube Animal Crossing that never made a comeback.
Yes.
At the end of the month on the GameCube game, Tom Nook would hold a raffle. And so as you bought things from Tom Nook throughout the month, you would get raffle tickets. And then at the end of the month, if you traded in 5 raffle tickets, he would spin the raffle thing and you could get some sort of prize.
Mhm.
That's something I really want back.
Yeah, and it makes so much sense. It's an awesome feature. I don't know why they would remove it.
Yeah, it seems really weird because it felt like something that I don't know. It just made sense with the world. It felt rewarding to shop for things. Like,
Right,
not
right,
only are you getting a cool item for your home, you're also getting a raffle ticket that you can use at
right.
the end of the month for more cool items for your home.
Yeah, and for those of us that play a lot, there's a point when we have all the items that they have, so we stop buying things for the most part. I think if we had the raffle still, we would be buying things again.
Yeah, it would be really great.
Yeah,
Because yeah, nowadays I just buy things to have a full catalog of items. So,
right, right.
but if I got more out of that, I would not mind. So Digicho asked, how do you think online will work? Will there be an offline town and an online town where you can separate houses in each? Or will it be the same as it's been where you just open up your offline town to other people and they can come visit? Do you think we could maybe see a non-mainline Animal Crossing game come out this year? Actually, before we get to that, let's talk about the
Hmm.
first thing. Let's talk about the online stuff. Um, so what are you thinking with the online? Because I really do like the idea of having an online town
Mhm.
where people live together. Because one of my favorite things about playing that original Animal Crossing was that my brother lived in my town with me, and my friend who lived down the street also lived in our town.
Oh, nice.
And it was fun to just like play rock paper scissors at the beginning of the day and be like, okay, who's playing first?
Right.
So yeah, so I like that aspect of living in a town with somebody.
Yeah. And we discussed this in a previous show, but it would be awesome to have an online town that a certain group of players are sort of assigned to, and you're kind of like the mayor slash police slash you take care of the place basically. And a lot of people can come and go, or you can set it to friends only. But yeah, basically it's an online town, and we were even playing around with the idea of these towns being based on real world locations. So you would go on vacation and you would have to save, for plane tickets, or I don't know how you would go to the vacation, but it would be awesome to have a sort of a motivation, something, another town to go to and do a lot of things that you couldn't do in your regular offline town, if you will.
Yeah, that's totally right. I remember that too. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think there are a lot of ways we could think of cool things to do online. Um, I, th- I feel like it's just hard to pull off. Like they tried the Club Tortimer thing on New Leaf,
Yes.
and I think most people's experience with that is kind of like it's a bit awkward there.
Yeah.
And me, eventually, I just kind of like stayed out of the conversations going on, and I was like, I'm just here to see if they've got rare swimsuits
Right.
or silver shovels, or if they have that really good game so I can get the island currency and buy these
Right.
things. So I would kind of ignore it. So I feel yeah, it's funny because like Nintendo intends this game to be a communication style game,
Mhm.
but I think the things they've introduced into the game to kind of promote that have not gone the best so far. um,
Right. Right. But
so
I think they should try again because, like you said, it's about communication. And we're going to be paying very soon for the online service on the Switch. So I think there should be something they haven't done and something that they do right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know.
Hopefully.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping. Yeah, so I think for now we'll for sure have the regular features of the online, but I'd really like to see something just new and cool. um, I still like the idea of like an online city with a bunch of unique shops and unique furniture every
Right.
day. So let's get to DigiCho's next question. Do you think we could maybe see a non-mainline Animal Crossing game come out this year? I'm not sure if Happy Home Designer was considered a mainline game or not, but something like that. I think our last non-mainline Animal Crossing game was Pocket Camp.
Hmm.
I think at this point, the next Animal Crossing thing we see is going to be a mainline game, just because we've
Yes.
gotten three at this point in between,
Yes.
and
Right.
we've never gotten them before. But this is, if they did another one, there would be as many spin-off games for Animal Crossing as there are mainline games for Animal Crossing.
Oh, that's not good.
So I don't know. I don't think that's something that's going to happen.
No.
But I do think we're going to see a non-mainline Animal Crossing game after the Switch version.
Yes, and it doesn't have to be too long after because, like you said, they're different, especially if it's something like Happy Home Designer 2. Although, you know what, I would prefer if those features were part of the mainline series now. So something completely different. Not necessarily Amiibo Festival 2. They can keep that for longer.
I mean, you say not necessarily that, but I also feel like they need some redemption for that game. I feel
Hmm.
like if they were to revisit Amiibo Festival 2 and actually like play with the different aspects of Animal Crossing to create a board game, they could
Yes.
come up with something really good, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, and have actual mini games in between the turns, and have online play. A must.
yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, I think it's definitely something that has so much potential that I wish they didn't mess up and kind of like
Yeah.
tainted the name. It probably won't be called Amiibo Festival 2
No.
because I think at this point everybody knows we all just wanted Animal Crossing Amiibo.
Right.
Unfortunately, we got them, but at what cost? um, Happy Home Designer was great, I think. The Amiibo
Yeah.
cards, I think, were a great idea because I've mentioned before, like the original GameCube game had the Animal Crossing e-reader cards, and
Yes.
so I felt like the Amiibo cards were a great callback to that original,
Hmm.
just collectible Animal Crossing thing that was available. Especially because I never got those original e-reader cards,
Right. Right.
but I would have loved it.
Right.
So Dakota IRL says, "How do you feel Amiibo support will work compared to New Leaf? Will they keep some aspects of Amiibo Festival? If you could play your choice of animal villager, what would it be? And how deep do you want customization of your villager to be? Maybe up to the Sims level?" Um, we can go
Oh,
ahead and speed this up because we are almost reaching an hour and a half on this.
right.
So first one, how do you feel Amiibo support will work on New Leaf, or compared to
Um.
New Leaf?
Right. I think there should be Amiibo support, but I'm concerned if it's gonna work in the same way, and then everyone is just gonna have the villagers they want. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but I'm not sure if Nintendo would allow that from the get go. You know, I think that would probably be something you unlock after you play maybe for like a month or two.
Yeah, I think it would have to be something unlockable. My thing is, I have two worries about this, or maybe it's the same worry essentially. Um, if they add the same type of functionality, I want them to re-release all of the amiibo cards because a lot of people are missing a bunch. A lot of people
True,
would be
true.
happy to have them available and be purchasable again. Um, and other than that, like I don't think they should bring it back if they're not planning on re-releasing amiibo cards. Because then people are just missing out on a whole feature of the game. If
Yeah, that's right.
if this is their first Animal Crossing game and they never knew about it before, and then there's just this feature that exists that they can't use, I think that'd be sad.
Right, right.
Um, will they keep some aspects of Amiibo Festival?
Other than the mini games, I don't think they should, unless like we said, they do a redemption type of thing. But for the mainline series, I think the mini games would carry over well.
Yeah, I think Desert Island Escape is really popular still. They added
Yeah,
it to New Leaf. I think it's a fun game.
yeah. Mhm.
If you could play as your choice of animal villager, what would it be?
Hmm.
I'd be a turtle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even have to think about it. I love them.
I'll go with a wolf.
A wolf, that's a good choice.
Yeah.
How deep do you want the customization for your villager to be?
Oh, the more the better for me.
Uh,
As long as you don't lose like of Animal Crossing,
yeah, I think your appearance, that doesn't have to do with like your clothing and accessories and um, yeah, essentially that. Like, as long as you can't choose your clothing and accessories at the beginning, I'm fine with anything in terms of appearance. Like, I want to see more hairstyles because
Right,
somebody mentioned like we don't really have a curly hairstyle, and some people have curly hair. So it'd be nice to
right.
have. I want to choose my skin color. I want to be brown, because I'm brown.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I think part of the fun of starting an Animal Crossing game is you literally have nothing. So that's why I'm kind of fine with whatever clothes you show up in
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Other than that, like make your character look whatever way you want them to look.
yeah. I think it's time for the villagers to have different body in terms of weight. If you want to be a little bit chubby or a little bit skinny, you should have like a slider, Kiki
Yeah.
slider.
Yeah, KK Slider. All right. Ruby Crimson says, "What feature do you expect to appear, if any, from the Pocket Camp game?"
The different areas and the villager interactions that you have, when you're dancing together or painting bugs or something. I love those.
Oh
I
yeah,
definitely want those.
yeah. I think those are good ones to pick from. I'd say I want to see the terrains. Being able to change the terrains in
Oh, yes,
the
yes.
place would be a really great feature. She also says, "Would you be happy or disappointed if the Pocket Camp app could connect with the new game?"
What do you think? I mentioned that I hope it doesn't, so that we don't really have to be playing Pocket Camp anymore.
Yeah, I'm conflicted on it because I do want some items from Pocket Camp that haven't existed yet,
Right, right.
But at the same time, I'm like, I'm playing, I'm playing Animal Crossing Switch. I don't want to play Pocket Camp.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's where my confliction is.
right, right.
She continues. Do you think that would add some cool features to the game, or do you think it would ruin the original vibe of the game?
Hmm.
I think it'd be good additions. Like the ones we mentioned, I think are good. Like the animals
Yes,
feeling more alive and interactive with you.
yes.
That's great. I think being
Yeah.
able to choose the terrain of your town and have a little bit more control of how it looks and what aesthetic you're going for. I think that's good. Um,
Hmm.
yeah. And then, are you scared of any features the new game might have that you'd not enjoy?
Well, yeah. We hope there's no microtransactions or no fortune cookies. Nothing. Keep it all for Pocket Camp.
Yeah, we mainline Animal Crossing is different than Pocket Camp. It doesn't need the microtransactions. I'm sure Nintendo will find a lot of success and money out of just the game alone. So
Right,
if they add that, I think we would all be very sad.
right. And I think they acknowledged it, and they talked about it in New Leaf because they definitely could have done that back then, and they didn't, and they were proud of not doing so, and I think we should be too.
Yeah, they bragged about it. They're like, no
Yeah.
microtransactions. We're the bomb.
Yeah.
So
And they are.
yeah, I think that was great. Um, Jessica Lynn said, "What is your favorite thing about each Animal Crossing game that's been released?" Let's go real quick.
Oh,
GameCube game. Favorite thing about it?
uh, first thing that comes to mind: 15 villagers.
Oh yeah, 15 villagers. We need those big towns.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the first thing that comes to mind for me is like this started the whole thing for me. Like just
Hmm.
that's where the love for the game really started. So I like that.
Right, right.
What about Wild World?
Mm, I think everything. Oh, constellations.
That's a good one. Mine is
Yeah.
online play because that was
Right.
yeah, that
Right.
was the first time we could play together. First time like the community could build itself up a little more.
Oh, you know what? I'm thinking of things that I want to come back.
Okay, not
I
like your
see its
favorite thing
favorite
about that
things.
game. Yeah.
I still like those two that I picked.
Yeah, I think those are great. What about City Folk?
Was City Folk to have tiered towns,
It
with
did.
higher level?
Yeah, it
Right. I
did.
think I'll go with that.
Yeah, I like that part of it. I liked that Brewster would keep your gyroids.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then finally, I guess we're doing mainline games. New Leaf, what was
Right.
your favorite thing there?
Being able to walk barefoot everywhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the obvious one. Yours is great. Mine is just being mayor. I
Oh
think
yeah.
that added so much to the game and what you could do. So yeah, being mayor was a big thing for me.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so I'm kind of jumping because, like I said, we've kept you all here for a long time, and I want to get to as many
Right.
people's questions as possible. V asked, "Do you think cooking should be implemented in Animal Crossing games?"
Yeah, for sure. When we had Blaze as a guest, he introduced the idea of having cooking being like an ability, and depending on what you cook, kind of like in Breath of the Wild, you could have more luck during the day, or things would be cheaper or something.
Yeah, I think that would be a really great feature too. Cooking, yeah, if it just has like some sort of effect on like your luck or something, maybe you
Mhm.
get added luck, and instead of 100 bells when you shake a tree, you get 200 bells. And maybe you cooked a really good recipe and it does times five on the bells that you get.
Right.
Um, yeah, I think if it has some cool effect, that would be really great.
Yeah.
Zeldario64 asked, "What are your top three favorite Nintendo franchises other than Animal Crossing?"
Hmm. I'm gonna go with Pokemon, Zelda, and let's see. What
It's
about
okay.
you?
I'm surprised you haven't said. I'm gonna go with Splatoon. Uh,
Oh,
I thought you were for sure gonna say that first. um,
yeah, sure.
yeah. So Splatoon is right after Animal Crossing for me.
Oh, wow.
After that, I would probably say, um, probably Fire Emblem actually,
Oh,
and then after
you know what?
that,
Rhythm Heaven. I think I'd like it more than one of those.
Rhythm Heaven's in your list. And then my last one, I would probably say Pokemon.
Yeah,
It's a fun one.
it's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've asked a question from everybody at this point. We still have some questions here, but I want to ask you all, how are y'all doing? Is this live show fun? Are you guys having a good time?
And if Chewy, if you're down, we can read these in future shows.
Yeah, that's true. We can definitely save these for shows. We're getting some thumbs up from people. Yeah, this is neat. Cool. So I'm
Oh, wow.
glad everybody's having a good time. This is super fun to do, I think. I started out more nervous, and I definitely have not done any other music things because I'm afraid of that part of it. Yeah, but I think the show's gotten pretty long. We're probably going to be signing off now. Um, is there anything, I guess, anybody feels we could fix with this show or anything they'd like to see more of with the live show? I know E3 is going to be pretty crazy and we're going to have a lot to talk about and geek out about and maybe cry about, but hopefully not. Not in a sad way, at least. But yeah, if there's anything you want to see in the live E3 show, um, yeah, go ahead and let us know. You can leave that comment here or in the feedback room after the fact. But for now, we'll kind of look at everything. Dragonflame says there will either be tears of joy or tears of disappointment. Yeah. And I feel bad too, because I don't want there to be tears of disappointment knowing like all of the cool things that could be talked about. Like Smash, already very cool. We already got the Pokemon announcements. I don't know if they'll say more about it at E3. Yeah. Fire Emblem, if they talk about that, I know I'd be hyped. Like, that's one of my
Yes.
top 3 Nintendo games. But yeah, I would feel bad if there is too much disappointment.
Right. I think if, it's sad, but if there's no Animal Crossing, it's kind of it's gonna sour the rest of the thing. So let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Yeah. And Hotaru is saying, wish we could go longer. Why not 2 hours for those who want to stay? Yeah, I don't know. I just worry about people having to listen to a 2-hour episode of the podcast. I mean, I guess
Right.
it's fine. They can listen to it in chunks, but yeah, I want it to be an enjoyable thing. Also, side note, I kind of messed up at the beginning of the podcast and forgot to hit record, so I'll probably be re-recording the intro. But I did catch enough of it. It wasn't like we were 10 minutes in. It was more like we were 2
Right.
minutes in.
Oh, good.
So yeah, a little behind the scenes for all of you. Mistakes happen, and they have been made. Yeah, I'm glad everybody's been having a good time. Yeah, Jeslyn, it's only been 20 minutes for you. That is too bad. I was bad about announcing it throughout the day. My day got crazy, so I was gonna put an hour before reminder for everyone in the announcements, and then it slipped my mind, and then it was time for the show. So next time I will be better about that. That is one thing that I want to do better, because I know the
Yeah.
last show I was good about that, and we had a lot of people come in. Unfortunately, we didn't
Right.
record it.
Right. And for sure, we're gonna be doing these at a different hours so that everyone, regardless of where you are, you'll be able to join in without too much trouble.
Yeah. Also, yeah, I do know it's late. Some of you are in Europe, and it is probably well past midnight, so we don't want to keep you up that much longer. We want you to get some rest, stay healthy, stay alive. Yeah. Poker Trainer Jiro says you need to record these. I am recording this one. I started late, but I'm recording it. Yeah, so for some people it's very late. It's very early in the morning, rather.
Right.
So you should be waking up now. No, just kidding. Don't wake up at 4:30 a.m. But yeah, so next show will be after that E3 time. So that is going to be 9 a.m. Pacific time. So I think a lot of people in European time zones, it'll be around 5 p.m. or later.
Right.
Or maybe a little earlier. So you all will be able to listen to this at a reasonable time, and it'll be great.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we're gonna have even more people there, which is awesome.
Yeah, some European listeners right now, Hotaru saying it's at 6 p.m. for them, which is a good time. But that's also the hardest thing. Like, I hate having to wait all day for something that I've been so excited for. Like, I'm already feeling like 10 a.m. is too late for me. I'm like, I want it at 9, but I'm not going to be at your time zone, Sergio, where it will be at 9. So it'll feel earlier for you.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so but yeah, thank you all so much for listening. This has been a really fun show. For everyone who didn't get to listen to this live and is just listening to this recording after the fact, be sure to leave your own comments on YouTube is usually the best place to leave comments. I don't think you can leave them on iTunes or other places. But you know what you can leave on iTunes and other places? You can leave reviews, and those are great. If you want to review the show, be sure to leave a review wherever you're listening. It'll help us get some visibility in the show. Oh my gosh, it just started raining for me, and it's crazy. But yeah, we'll get more visibility. These live shows will get even bigger and more fun, more people to talk to, which we have so many of you here today, and I'm so happy. This has been amazing. I can't believe that so many of you want to spend E3 with us, because that's like the biggest day in video gaming. So it just feels truly, truly special to have people around for that. But yeah, leave a review, like I said, and yeah, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Join the Discord. Definitely join the Discord before E3. There are links wherever you're listening. Look at the description of this show. Find that Discord link. Join. Be here for the live show. This was just the last little test of the live show.
Right.
But we'd be so happy to have you. The Discord's been really fun lately. Tons of people have been joining, and we always have really awesome conversations about all things Animal Crossing and life in general. Things got pretty crazy in the general chat, which is totally fine. The rules aren't too strict here. But yeah, thank you all for listening, and we all hope that you have a great week.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Have a great week.